This jackalope is the MVP.
Okay.
Wow. Good boy.
That is such a pain.
And you can't really kill him this turn because I can just keep discarding things.
You're enjoying this.
I love that.
You are enjoying this too much. We don't. No. That's not okay. Turn it off. We don't like. Okay. Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to the final part in our intro game series with Yvonne. This is the post-game interview after really the second and a half game of Malifaux that we played. So there's so much to unpack here. I had ideas of making these really long, edited, short-form, long-form videos, but honestly, I'd rather just show this in its entirety, let Yvonne speak for her perspective on the game. And finally, I just wanted to thank her for her time and for gaming with me. It was super, super fun. I hope we do it again. And I hope you guys really just enjoy this. So without further ado, I'm just going to roll straight into the interview without any edits. Thanks for watching. Better. Okay. And I think we're good. Okay. So this was your third game?
I mean, second and a half.
Second and a half?
We did like a one-turn demo and then played with the fire boys. Mm-hmm. And then these are the good boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know I asked you before, but we lost the footage.
Oh, yeah.
So what are your initial impressions of the game?
So I know last time I was talking a lot about how much I liked the lore and how much I wanted to get into like the deeper part of this game. I think this time I learned a lot more about how it works.
Yeah.
So I still want to play more of the game. I'm kind of worried about, we were just talking about this, how long they are, like how long games are, and how much attention and strategy is going to go into it. I prefer the play style, you've seen it, of go in and do something that I think is fun. So I don't think that's going to work long term.
Okay.
But no, it's a really fun game. I would like to learn more of the strategy. I just want to find a way to make it still story driven, you know?
So,
which I can tell that it is.
If you,
just, you know.
So if you were to, I mean, you could basically, the way you played the game is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like smoothing out all of those areas of like, I'm going to stop and think, or I have to stop and read something.
Exactly.
Or we need to figure out which
so
totally
there's
makes
definitely
sense.
a learning curve. Like at the beginning, it was like, okay, I got the basics down, I can play the game, and now I've hit a point where it's like, oh, does this make sense with this stuff? Like, and as I slowly learn what every one of these can do, I know that it's just gonna the difficulty is gonna ramp up, you know?
Yeah.
Which is good in a game. That's kind of how you want it to work.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little bit intimidating though. Like the first game was super fun just because it was like bup, and you could tell me what to do basically.
We just like dropped you right into the
super fun
action.
And don't get me wrong, this is a great game I want to play more of. I'm just worried about how the skills will level up and how it's going to get more difficult as I start to learn the strategies of more teams and all
and
that
how
stuff,
to
you know? And how to play them and how to work
play
them.
But
not in a bad way.
From a let's just say totally from a totally casual standpoint, if you were to just play this crew all the time with the intent of I just want to eat stuff with the bunny,
I love the bunny,
and bowl with Kojo, like, was that enough game for you without it getting? Is it enough game? Is it too much game?
So this is the last time we played was on a 2x2, right? It was like on a smaller board.
It was a smaller board.
And it took less time because there's less movement, less activations, all that stuff. I think from a newbie standard, this is a lot more intimidating than the 2x2.
Yeah.
Like it's great as a second game, but definitely it was good to start with that one because if you had pushed me right in with this one, it would have been like, ooh, this is a lot of things.
You're like,
and a lot of
I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Sure.
But like from a casual standpoint, I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I want to play more. I like this team. I want to learn more about this team. I think I enjoyed Fire maybe a little bit more, but
Interesting.
I don't know why. I think I just like the specific characters, not like the Borgman and Karis. I was like, I care about them specifically, and I of course love these boys. They're very good.
Yeah.
But Marcus, I don't care about. I just want the animals.
You know that you can lead, you can play, there's a format of the game that you only take 4 models.
Yeah.
And you can lead with Miranda.
Yes. I want to do that. I like Miranda.
And those games are a lot faster.
That sounds like a really fun way to play.
Those games end in like an hour. In fact, we can blame me for that. I thought, because I actually did have half a mind to go, oh, let's play, it's called Henchman Hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's play Henchman Hardcore because that's 4 models.
Fast, yeah.
And it's way faster. And I think it's enough game for you, and you still get the characters you like.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of it. You just gotta like figure out how people like to play.
Yeah.
I want to play fast pace. I want to go. So it's difficult when you're playing a new team on something this big to try and figure out how to maneuver it, how it's going to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's coming from like a totally new miniature perspective. So like I'm just barely getting into it. So it's intimidating to have a board.
I will say you have a really good handle on the core mechanics though.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Right? Like you're really able to follow duels, and I go through the duels pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely got like the basics of the game down. But that's what I was saying. That's like that's how it gets more difficult, because it's hit the point where I'm like, now I think I can strategize.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways to strategize, and there's so much flexibility.
Right.
You gotta really know the game.
Like you saw me struggle at one point where it's like, well, like for me, there was one point down here where it was like, I could either drop dynamite, which is the smart thing to do, which scores me points, or I could do the fun thematic thing, which is charge Miranda and get a black joker.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, it was super fun, and I want to know what you were doing over there. I didn't like it.
Yeah, so I can actually explain that. So I also had the Explorer the ruins, and I needed to get to your board side, and so I gave up an entirely viable activation just to walk over there. And so this, I will say that, I mean, this game has a lot of like fancy stuff can happen, like big theatrical stuff. But if you get into like the pure competitive side, a lot of times the best moves are like the most basic moves.
I love that.
Like I'm just gonna walk here and stand here, and you can't score. Like,
okay, good.
Yeah, because like the first game I played last night, I got trounced hard because I was doing a lot of the stuff you were doing, but without the cards.
Yeah.
So I got thumped. And then the second game, I was doing more of the, I'm just going to stand here. And I won that game. So it's a weird trade-off, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you can find a happy medium where, okay, I'm going to make a really good move, but it's also going to be interesting to me. So
for sure. But yeah, I want to play both of the teams I've played more, because there's definitely things I'm missing.
And you know, when you hire, so the way the game is played, when you set up your scenario, you haven't decided who you're actually playing yet until you actually look at your strategy and your schemes and go, I need to kill more stuff, so Karis might be better here.
Okay.
I need to be faster, Marcus might be better here. So it makes it interesting. So what I encourage people to do usually is get 2 keywords, and the more they complement each other, the better. So you may want to have like a super fast team that's combined with like a super killy team, or you might want to have a super tanky team that's like combined with a super control team. And
that's the thing. I'm like afraid of the meta more than anything else. You know?
Yeah.
It's the same problem I have with like Magic the Gathering and like those bigger, deeper games where there's so much meta and so much you have to know outside of just the rules of the game. And like the rules of the game, I think I'm getting there. I think there's, of course, a lot more to learn. And I flipped over some of these cards and I'm like, I didn't even know that was an action.
They can do that. That's the thing. Yeah.
Wow, crazy. But yeah, it's like the deeper knowing that.
But like speaking of,
I don't know if this is a killy team or a fast team or a control team, because like I don't have the scope of the game.
It's more I would say the team that you had was more versatile. They could do a number of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say they're more versatile.
I think so.
Going back to meta for a second, so it would, let's say I wasn't here,
Yeah.
and it was your day off or whatever,
Yes.
and you're like, I have a bag full of cool models, I'm going to walk in and play. Would you see yourself doing something like that, like striking up a game with like, oh hey, I know so and so plays this game?
I don't think I know well enough. I don't think I know the game well enough. Like, I'd
Would
want
you
to play.
want to be able to do that?
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
is the question.
for sure.
Like,
I do
yeah,
want to be
I have
able
an hour
to
and a
really-
half. Let's play let's pick up a game.
A quick game. No, I would love that. Definitely not there. I definitely don't like. I mean, a big part of it. I don't have all this stuff. Like,
Yep.
there's a big investment.
But you're growing.
I'm getting there.
You're growing
I'm
your
getting
first
there.
crew.
I'm working on my Beast Boys. I'm very proud of them. But yeah, I would love to get to that point. But there's definitely a lot of investment that you got to do beforehand. I don't know. I mean, you went through the setup with us, but I don't.
Yeah, that was a lot, right?
That was a lot
You
going
have to
on.
do it, and even then, like you have to do it a couple of times before you understand. We played a tournament on Sunday, and all of those, well, not all of them, but most of the people there had at least half a dozen games in,
Wow.
and they were still like, "How do we do setup?"
Yeah, how does that work? So
And so that's why I love that app. I'm like, just don't.
Just pull out the
you
app,
just
it'll tell you
don't
what to
think
do.
about it. I understand that it doesn't enhance the game going through and doing the physical flipping of the scenarios.
Yeah.
Just roll your scenario
there you go.
and just be happy with your life.
Yeah, that's
And
how I would do it for sure.
So
Like,
there's some things that we could probably streamline to make it a little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely have a super fun time playing this game more. But yeah, definitely need a few more games under my belt before I'm at that point where I can just be like, hey guys, let's go do a Malifaux.
Can you can you talk about hobby a little bit?
Like miniature?
Yeah,
hobby?
like the painting and building
Yeah.
and that kind of
That's
stuff.
definitely been so. I recently just got hit by the bug to do miniature stuff all the time, and it hit hard. Like every single day, I've been going home and spending like an hour, or whatever, painting or assembling or doing
I'm so
whatever.
proud.
I know. I'm proud of me too.
I'm
proud
choking
of
back
me.
tears.
Yeah, I bought a whole bunch
It's-
of miniatures yesterday.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to, for no
Yeah.
reason. This is just a lady who had wings, and it was like, she's cool. I want her.
Yeah.
So I bought her, and, like assembling her and stuff like that. No, but it bites hard. The investment was not as high as I thought it would be. Like getting all the paints and brushes and stuff like that. It hasn't been too hard, and it's such a zen hobby. It's so chill. Like I'll just get on.
Now you know why I paint almost
Yeah.
every night.
It's just I get on
'Cause you
Discord with
just-
someone and chat while you blah blah blah,
Yep.
or like watch a video. It's so nice, and then every time I mess up, it's just like, well, that's
paint.
okay. It's paint,
Yeah.
and then you fix it. I have one model I've repainted like 3 or 4 times, not because I'm not happy with the paint job, just because I realized, oh, I could scrub this
You
paint
could try
off
something new.
and do it again because I have this idea. Like, what if I layered this contrast paint on top of this metallic, or what if I pulled out nail polish the other day and like did like a cool iridescent effect on one of my dude's armor just because I thought it would be fun, and I did, and it was fun, and then I took it off and I did something else.
Okay.
Like it's been a whole lot of fun to play around with it, and I don't know, the moment I realized that it doesn't matter if I mess up, it
Yeah.
became so much more fun. Like I still got a lot of hesitancy when I'm like sculpting or whatever. Like, oh, should it be this color? What's my color scheme here? I'm not ready.
Oh.
I've thought about it too much, but overall, it's still very fun.
Yeah. Well,
Even when I think about it too much.
I don't even know if you notice this, but this Marcus doesn't. He's not actually holding a mug. I added the mug, right? Because his pose was weird to me.
Yeah.
I didn't like the model originally, and I was like, it's missing something. And I looked down at my desk, and this is a little plastic peg from a sprue, and I just looked down at it, and I looked at his fist like that, and I'm like, well, he could be holding that,
He's just having a
and
pint.
he could just be enjoying a beverage, watching the battle happen.
Oh, I should have left him on the roof so he could like spectate.
And then Miranda, I didn't like her head, so I did a head swap on her. But yeah, it's okay. So next question: if you were to like plot yourself on a on a spectrum where you have the hobbyist on one end and then you have like the game strategist on the other end, where would you lean more towards the hobby side?
Definitely lean more towards the hobby side.
Okay.
Because when I want to get miniatures, it's never because I want them to be good in the game. My goal is never to win the game.
You just want the coolest looking miniatures.
I don't care if I win the game. That's never, ever my goal.
Yeah.
But, no, I definitely pick the ones that I think would be fun of painting, the characters I like. I know we were talking about this. I always want things that can be classified as good boys. Mm-hmm. This is a good boy. Or big ladies with guns. Those are the two things that I want to paint. So whenever I can paint those, I'm going to pick those.
How about just like ladies with guns?
Good.
Does that count?
Good.
Okay. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those in Malifaux.
Powerful, and they also have to be wearing enough clothes.
Yes.
That's a big thing in miniatures. That's a whole rant, but if they're ladies with guns and enough clothes, not just like Red Sonia, we're fine.
No.
We're fine.
Well, like in this case, she's like a savage type.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Is she?
That's acceptable.
Yeah, she's
it fits the
acceptable.
character. And like, I'm not against ladies wearing skimpy clothes, as long as it makes sense for the character and what they're about.
That makes sense. But if it was like supposed to be,
if it was a lady strapped to the front of a war machine with no reason other than to be naked,
maybe take
like
a little
that.
exception to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But for the most part.
So I'll ask one more question. I might have three more. But
I'm ready.
Let's do one more. So if somebody, let's say, if somebody was on the fence, they've never played a miniatures game before, they really like looking at these pieces and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? If they're like, I'm sure this has probably already happened in the store. Like somebody's picking up a box of Malifaux. Maybe they're a D&D player. Maybe they're a board game player.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're looking at Malifaux. What would you tell them about the game?
Normally, I talk to them about the lore and the characters, and I don't know the lore, but I know.
You know the basic story.
I know the basic story.
Yeah.
I know how rich it is. Like I can pull a box off the shelf and be like, this dude has a role in the story. Like this is actually important in the story somewhere. I might not know where.
Yeah.
But that's always what intrigues me.
He does psychic and plays out loud.
I always tell people that like having a community is the most important part for games like this. And since we do have a pretty active Malifaux community here,
we're just budding at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I encourage people to get into, because if you find someone who wants to teach you that game, who wants to talk about that game, it's going to make it more fun than anything else. But yeah, when people get into Malifaux or in the store, looking at the models, I point out how different it is from other games too, like just visually, aesthetically, how different the minis are from other games, because not to go back to my feminist rant, but there are a lot of games that are all just buff dudes and nothing else.
Buff mans.
Just nothing of interest there. But even if you look at this board right now, we've got a cool lady that's like nothing like any other character I've seen in games like this. There's a zombie lady who's like not who's not just zombie stripper number 3, you know?
Right.
We got animals. We got this dude who looks not. I mean, this guy is a buff man.
He's a buff man,
but he's got more character than a lot of other things I've seen.
Yeah, I think what you're hitting on is something that, like, some of those other games, the sculpts are technically really, really well done.
Yeah, they are.
But they're very forgettable.
Yeah.
They don't, they're very technically well done, but you're like, you pick up a model and you're like, that's a good model, but you don't associate it with a character, you don't associate it with...
This is a very character-driven game.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it powerful. What makes it something I want to play, you know? Like if these were just buff men, I would be like, why do I care? Why do I care? This one, I was like so sad when the snake died.
I was on purpose. That's why I took vendetta against your snake.
It was really mean. I didn't like that.
Yeah, and it's like, she likes that snack way too much.
Love snakes.
I know, I love snacks too. People who watch this channel know how much I love snacks because
I love snacks.
yeah.
Love snacks.
My my Guild Ball official registry,
Yeah.
you get a nickname, and
Good.
mine is Snack Charmer.
Good.
I'm the Snack Charmer.
I'm really proud of you. I like that.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely the pull for this one. And then even within the games itself, like the fact that Vendetta is an option, it was in this
Yeah.
game, it was in the last one too. I think that's so fun.
Yeah.
Like when my fire starter had a Vendetta against Mortimer, I got
Mortimer.
like really deep and like, why?
And Mortimer kept
Sworn
talking
X?
to
What's
her.
happening?
Yeah.
Shut up.
He was chatty. He wouldn't allow it to happen.
Every time he did something in this round, I'm sure I said it in the video, like, oh, I hate him, talks so much. That Vendetta stayed. Not based on anything. Just because my character in the last one had a Vendetta, I'm like, ooh, that one. I don't like him.
So, I know I said one final question.
I don't care. I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay. What is something your opponent could do potentially to make you not want to play this game or maybe another game again? Like, is there something that would be like, okay, I don't think I'm going to play,
Yeah.
maybe even in a general state, like I'm not going to play miniature games anymore. Is there something somebody could say or do?
There's definitely like a certain vibe with players that I know I don't want to play with, where they're super into the rules, they don't want to joke around, they don't want to have fun. Like,
So like excessive lawyering? Excessive lawyering? Like the rules lawyering?
Like if you're gonna pull out the book every time just to tell me that I did it wrong, which if I did it wrong, I did it wrong. I get it. But if it like becomes such a core part of the game that like the rules are more important than having a good time,
Sure.
then that's definitely my deal breaker. Like I want to have fun with this game. I don't care if you win or I win. If I'm messed up, I mean, tell me, don't be like, well, you see, in page 900 of the rule book, you suck. So that doesn't make it fun. Really, what makes games like this entertaining is just doing goofy stuff.
Like letting the narrative develop as your point.
It's player to player. I know that some people like rules heavy games. That's why that's why some people prefer Pathfinder over D&D.
Sure.
Because they like the rules, they like the numbers, they like that stuff. And for those people that's okay, but for a player like me who's completely here for the story, for the narrative, because I think it's fun when my gorilla throws things. That's just not how you want to bring them into it.
So you would be more engaged around conversation of, oh, we took the jackalope and the jackalope killed the gravedigger and then it jumped around the board and it stabbed another person in the face versus, oh man, this thing is stat 6 if I do this and if I discard a card, I get. So
I'm not here for the
you're not here for the technical jargon.
Yeah, I was here for the thinking that it was really funny to imagine this tiny little like rabbit with antlers that just keeps on popping back up.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Like
we tried to smash it with a shovel.
The gravedigger. Wait. Okay. Okay. Wait.
You can tell the story.
I mean, you'll see the story, but the gravedigger is this big, and the jackalope is this big, and this dude killed the jackalope, and then it just came back to life and wrecked him. And that was really good. And then it jumped around and attacked another guy pretty hard. It was delightful. And
did you notice that the jackalope is standing on a human head?
Which is
that
so good.
It's probably the gravedigger's head.
Wow. And right next to his little flowers.
Yeah.
He's got flowers.
So nature is happening, right? Nature is happening in that one.
Circle of life. It's beautiful. I don't know how that song goes, but it's beautiful. And that's what makes it fun for me.
Okay.
The shenanigans, I don't.
But if somebody like gave you a lecture on like, oh, that's a bad move and here's why.
Yeah, don't do that. Especially when you're trying to get people into this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's. If you want to play like that, it's totally fine. Just make sure you find people that want to play like that too. And I understand it might be infuriating to watch me make very bad moves all the time, but that's not what it's about.
It's entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think like videos like these hopefully are more beneficial for people that want to learn.
Yeah.
And fumbling around the board can be more useful than I know specifically what I'm going to do because that's like, it's like watching the difference between watching like someone make a grilled cheese sandwich video versus someone like slice a blowfish for human consumption, right? And if you were to try to emulate, I get the general gist of how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, but if you were to try to slice and prepare blowfish for someone to eat, you'd probably kill them.
Yeah, don't
Right?
do that.
Don't do that.
Pro tip, don't kill people.
Okay. Anything else before we end this?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No,
My
other
favorite color
than
is pink, if you were going to ask that one. Don't worry.
I couldn't tell.
You can tell.
There's no way I wouldn't have known how that.
I'm very predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe next time we can try Henchman Hardcore,
Yeah.
and it would probably only be an hour-long video,
Perfect.
I think. Okay. Well, anyways, thanks again for watching. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Yay!